Today is... Hello everyone, today we are going to a friend's house and we need to take a dessert. So I am going to take the opportunity to try one of the gluten-free recipes that I have been meaning to try for the longest time. This one is a gluten-free coffee cake and it's from Minimalist Baker. I really like her recipes. It's been a long time since I've used them, but I used to be plant-based and I used a lot of her stuff. So we are gonna give this a try. Now it is written it says use dairy-free yogurt or vegan butter. It says dairy butter should work fine. And then we are going to just use regular yogurt because that's what I have. And then I don't have her recommended one-to-one gluten-free flour blend, but I do have this Bob's Red Mill version. And it also wants almond meal, which I just picked up from Azure. Let's see if that'll focus. I don't know. There we go. I just picked this up from Azure, so I'm excited to try that. Okay, let's get started. The first thing I'm gonna do is line this sheet with parchment paper. Let's see. Just gotta get it sliced so that it fits. All right, that'll do. I'm gonna mix up my flour products in this bowl here. So we have 1 and a half gluten-free flour. Then it wants 3/4 scoops of almond flour or almond meal flour. I don't know, is there a difference between almond flour and almond meal? I do wonder if I should be sifting this or if I even could because it is a little bit coarser, but there are some crumbs in here, or some big chunks rather. So I'm gonna whisk this really well and make sure I get all those out. I'm gonna add 2 teaspoons of baking powder. I feel like our baking powder often gets clumpy, so I always run it through a sieve. And then I need 3/4 teaspoon of salt. It doesn't seem too clumpy now, and it is gonna mix in a stand mixer, so hopefully the paddle will get everything else out. All right, let's set this aside. To the stand mixer, I'm gonna add 1/2 cup of butter. It should be softened. We need 3/4 cup of sugar. There's 1, 2, 3. In go the eggs. We're gonna beat those for a moment. Then I'm going to add the yogurt. So I just scraped down the sides and some of the butter looks chunky. You know how when your butter is melted and then you add really cold liquid, it sort of gets lumpy. And I'm wondering if that's because the yogurt was cold, but we'll see. Sometimes also our sugar is pretty coarse, so it can look like that a bit, but we're just gonna go with it and see what happens. I'm gonna add this flour mixture now. Maybe I'll put this here so I don't puff flour everywhere. The method for this is that you put half of the batter in And then you sprinkle a cinnamon brown sugar mixture in there. And then you put the rest of the batter in and put a topping on. It is pretty thick. It'd be kind of tricky to spread it in this parchment. Great. That was pretty challenging, so it might not look the prettiest. Here is our brown sugar cinnamon mixture. I don't really know how I'm going to spread the rest of this on without disrupting this whole layer, but I guess it won't matter too much for a coffee cake. I went ahead and rinsed the spatula in cold water to try to make it a little bit easier to spread. Sometimes oil or water can make things a little bit easier. That's not too bad. All right, let's mix up that topping. The recipe wants you to do this back in the stand mixer, but my stand mixer does not do well with small quantities, so I'm just gonna use my fingers. I have made something like this before and used my fingers and it was just fine. So we've got some butter, some salt, some more of the gluten-free flour. We need some brown sugar. And lastly, 2 more teaspoons of salt. I'm sorry, this isn't salt, this is cinnamon. All right, I'm just gonna fold it in, break up these butter pieces. Pretty much just a standard crumble topping. I think that's sufficient. Just gonna crumble it on top. Does feel like a lot of crumb for this recipe.
Hey, who's complaining?
In it goes, about 38-40 minutes. Here's the finished product. It smells amazing. I'll put the recipe below. Thank you all so much for watching. If you need to cook gluten-free, hopefully this gives you some ideas of a yummy treat. Have a great day.